The secret to building wealth isn't what most people think. Welcome to the show, where we talk money, mindset, and the moves that build real wealth over time. If you want clear, practical insights to take control of your finances, you're in the right place. The information shared is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor, and any opinions expressed are based on personal experience and general knowledge. Always do your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any financial decisions, as individual circumstances and goals vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and all investing involves risk. What if I told you that the biggest myth about getting rich is the one most people believe? So many people think wealth comes from winning the lottery, inheriting money, or getting lucky with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The truth is, those situations are incredibly rare. Real wealth is usually built the same way: slowly, consistently, and patiently. Then, almost unexpectedly, it starts growing faster than you ever imagined. That powerful shift happens because of one simple concept: compound interest. Historically, the stock market has returned around 10 to 11% annually. To stay conservative, let's assume an average annual return of 7% after accounting for inflation. That's still enough to create remarkable long-term growth. Here's an example. Suppose you invest $10,000 per year, or about $833 per month, and earn an average annual return of 7%. It will take roughly 8 years to build your first $100,000. At first, progress feels slow because most of your account balance comes from the money you've personally contributed. But every year, something important happens. You're not only earning returns on your original investments, you also earn returns on your previous gains. That's compounding. Some years the market will be up, other years it will be down. But over long periods, history shows that patient investors are rewarded. The magic really begins once your investments become large enough to generate meaningful returns on their own. When you reach your first $100,000, you've contributed around $76,000, while roughly $24,000 came from investment growth. By the time your portfolio reaches $300,000, you've contributed about $163,000, but your investments have generated approximately $136,000. Nearly half your wealth now comes from your money working for you. Keep investing for just a little longer, and something incredible happens. Your investment gains eventually become larger than your own contributions. At around $370,000, you've invested approximately $184,000, while compound growth has produced roughly $185,000. From this point forward, your portfolio begins doing more of the heavy lifting than you do. This is the tipping point. Eventually, when you reach $1 million, nearly 70% of your wealth comes from investment growth rather than money you earned at work. That's the true meaning of making your money work for you. Here's another way to think about it. Reaching your first $100,000 might take about 8 years. You might assume reaching $1 million would take 10 times longer, but it doesn't. It takes only about 22 additional years. That's the incredible power of compounding. The growth accelerates because your investments keep generating returns on themselves. So how do you get there? The first step is simple. Start now. Time is your greatest advantage. Imagine you're 30 years old and begin investing $584 per month, earning an average annual return of 7%. It would take a little over 10 years to reach your first $100,000. If you simply continue investing without dramatically increasing your contributions, you could reach $1 million by age 65. Now, compare that to waiting. If someone waits until age 60 and wants to accumulate $1 million in just 5 years, they'd need to invest well over $100,000 every single month, something that's unrealistic for almost everyone. The lesson is clear. The earlier you start, the less you have to invest later. You can't change when you should have started. The only decision that matters is when you begin. The second key to building wealth is minimizing investment costs. Many people spend hours searching for discounts on everyday purchases, but ignore the fees quietly eating away at your investments. A common example is paying a financial advisor a 1% annual management fee. 1% sounds small, but over decades, it can cost hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Consider this example. If you invest $25,000 and earn 7% annually while paying investment fees of only 0.1%, your money could grow to roughly $360,000 over 40 years without adding another dollar. Now increase that fee to 1% and the final value falls to roughly $257,000. That tiny 1% difference costs more than $100,000 simply because of fees. For investors contributing thousands of dollars every month, those costs can easily reach millions of dollars over a lifetime. The takeaway is simple. Pay attention to investment fees because every dollar you don't lose to fees stays invested and continues compounding for you. Finally, shift the way you think about investing. Instead of focusing on a fixed dollar amount, focus on a percentage of your income. For example, if your take-home pay is $4,500 per month, investing 10% means setting aside $450. The advantage is that as your income grows, your investments automatically grow too. If your salary increases, your contribution increases without needing to rethink your entire financial plan. Here's an even better strategy. Once every year, increase your investment rate by just 1%. If you're investing 10% today, increase it to 11% next year, then 12% the year after that. It takes only a few minutes to update your contributions, but over several decades, that one small habit can add hundreds of thousands of dollars to your retirement savings. Building wealth isn't about chasing shortcuts or getting lucky. It's about consistency. Start early, invest regularly, keep your costs low, increase your savings as your income grows, and do those 4 things long enough, there comes a point where your investments begin growing faster than your paycheck. That's when financial freedom stops being a dream and starts becoming your reality. Remember, wealth isn't built overnight. It's built one investment at a time. The sooner you begin, the more time compound interest has to work in your favor. And that's the closest thing to a financial superpower you'll ever find. That's it for today's episode. Remember, small financial decisions made consistently can change your entire future. If this helped you think differently about money, subscribe, share the show, and keep building wealth one smart step at a time.